Alright, so I'm about to go into Home Depot. Today's video is going to be on building a rabbit stand. There's different cages I like on Amazon. I've bought a few. One I'm building a stand for. I'm not a huge fan of the cage. The building process was very difficult, and the way the cage is designed, there are a lot of flaws in my opinion, but I have another cage as well. They're both on the ground now, kind of as like a rabbit run, but the one I'm going to build a stand for, wire the top, and then I'm going to rest the cage on top. This is kind of a little rough draft of how the cage is going to be built, but basically I'm going into Home Depot right now. I'm going to get 11 2x4s, 8 foot long. I'm going to get them cut at 69 inches. I'm going to get 5 of those for the sides and the braces, and then I need 6 6-footers at 72 inch, and then the scraps I'll use for my legs, which will give me 24 inches. Alright, I'm going to go in and get this wood, and I'm going to do a how-to video to build a rabbit cage / stand. So here is that 6 foot by 6 foot cage I'm building the stand for. Obviously it's fallen now, leaves are all falling on it, and there's nothing in it just yet. So, like I said, this cage, I have it, so I'm using it, but it was very difficult to build and kind of overpriced. If I had to redo it, I'd build it myself. Or another option I have over here. This cage over here I actually highly recommend. So I'm still working out some ways to do roofing. I just have a tarp on there and a piece of wood with some coverage. But I have 4 rabbits in here growing out, and I can move this cage every few days, give them some fresh grass and more space to run around. They really like it. Very nice build for this. It was very easy. It all came in sections, a couple screws. This top has a latch, and on the back side there's a door that goes ground level, and you can connect these with multiple cages. So this was a more affordable cage and works way better. So this is actually one I highly recommend. And something like this you could put on a stand like what I'm going to build today, or you go ahead and wire the bottom and you can move it around the yard. But a lot of space for the bunnies, very sturdy cage, and it looks pretty sharp too. Alright, so now we're ready to build, guys. Let me go over the supplies real quick. So I have a 25-foot roll of 1-inch wire. I got my saw, my screw gun, I got some waterproofing spray paint, bucket of screws. Here I got 4 legs, which are a scrap from my 8-footers. So I bought 11 pieces of 8-foot wood. I was going to do all 2x4s, but I decided to get some 2x3s, save on cost, and the cage will be a lot lighter, and they're plenty sturdy enough. So what I have here is 7 2x3s, and I have scraps from those, and then I have 4 2x4s. So the 2x4s, I went ahead and did 72 inch and 69 inch. That way I'll get a 6-foot box, because they're going to be 1.5 inches wide on both sides, the way I frame them together. So on the left here, these 2x4s will be my legs. They stick up a little bit because I got a 69 inch cut. I cut those off. I'm actually going to let them go a little bit above. That way the cage can sit in there like a frame and it can't get knocked off. Because I'm going to build this stand, wire the top of it, and rest the cage on top. So the cage can be removed and it'll just be a stand with wire. So I'm going to go ahead and start building this together, guys, and stay tuned. Now we have our frame built and our dividers. So the frame is, like I said, this 2 pieces of 72-inch wood and then 2 pieces of 69-inch wood. These are all 2x4s. I went ahead, did a screw on top and bottom. Same with the braces, and these are just 2x3s. So they're off the ground a little bit. This is laying flat, but they all got 2 screws around. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put legs on each corner, and it's gonna go next to this, and it's gonna connect to both pieces of wood. So the stand's gonna be very sturdy. So go ahead right now, and I'm gonna attach our legs. So the stand's flipped over now. I put the two legs on the front, and the way they're connected, like I said, you're gonna have two screws. One's gonna catch the front 2x4, one's gonna catch the back, making this very sturdy. And then over here I have my other scraps, which are a little bit longer because we went with 69-inch pieces. So I rested the 2x4 on top, made lines. I'm gonna flip the stand over, and these are gonna be the top line for this stand. So that's where I want to be flush with. These will stick up in the back, and that's gonna allow the cage to slide onto this and not be able to push off left or right. So now I have those back legs on secured, and you can see how they sit up a little bit, and that'll make more sense once the cage is on top. So the stand's pretty much done. It's very sturdy, but I'm gonna do one more thing and add some supports below. And to help you doing this, I made some spacers here. It's about 8 inches up. I'll put that against the leg, rest it on going right here, so it's gonna go from front to back. And I'll do it on both sides, and then I'll put a 2x4 on top of that, or a 2x3 going left to right. So that's gonna make this very sturdy. I mean, this is almost like building a little deck. I mean, this is way overkill, but this stand and all the wood I bought cost me maybe 40 bucks. Definitely under 50. It was like $44 or something. So very affordable, and this thing's gonna be built to last. So that's about it, guys. So you can see over here, everything is underneath the top frames. This does not stick out. The bottom one goes on first with my spacers, and then once both sides are secured, you just lay a 2x4 or 2x3 on top of those, and you'll screw that in. This front and back one are actually very important, because when you do that, sometimes your legs will bow out, or they'll bow in, so it's not going to really sit as sturdy, and it's going to wobble a little bit. So that way you can kind of push the legs in, which if you need to, you can kind of remove one screw above on that joint there on the side, and then push it in a little bit further, secure the bottom, then put that second screw back. So right now this thing is sturdy as a rock. I mean, way overkill. This is for rabbits, but this is not going anywhere. And if I stand inside that and I grab it, I can walk around pretty easily. It's not that heavy. Obviously once the wire is on, it'll be different, and I'll need a person on the other side, or I'll have to put wheels on this. But it's still pretty easy for two people to pick up, walk it to a location, and rest it down. Next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and spray paint this. So I bought a water resistant or a waterproofing spray paint. It's gonna give the wood kind of a finish, and it's gonna make it more resistant outside. I was gonna do just like black spray paint, maybe like Rust-Oleum paint, but I didn't really know the best thing for wood, because I use this on glass aquariums. But I just bought another can of spray paint. I'll show you what that is, and it's supposed to be really good for waterproofing. So I'm gonna spray this down, and then I'm gonna lay my wire on top. So here's the spray paint that I purchased. It's called Olympic Water Guard. I bought it at Home Depot. I'm sure it's online. I'll actually find a link for it and see if it's available online. But I've never used this before. I mean, obviously you can show the pictures. It's supposed to be very good for wood and for water resistance. So I'm gonna go ahead, put a coat down on this. I might put 2 coats. We'll see how it goes on the first coat. But luckily the sun's coming out right now. It's not supposed to rain for the next 2 days. So I'm gonna spray this, let it dry. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and put my wire on top today as well. So here I got most of the spray paint done on this. I figured I'd show you guys what it looks like, kind of comparison. So it's a little patch. I think as it dries it'll look better. One miscalculation I had was I didn't buy enough spray paint. So kind of disappointed about that. I'll have to go to the store and get some more spray paint. But you can see all the wood we bought worked out perfectly. We bought only 11 pieces of wood. We bought 1 can of spray paint, which we need 2. And I already have my fencing as the 25-foot rolls. So it's coming together nice, I think. I mean, it's a little patch. I think as it dries it'll look better. And if I get another can, I can do a second coat and kind of fill in any lighter spots. I went a little heavy here and there, and there was some dripping. But that was because there was holes in the wood, and I wanted to fill those in. And I don't mind that too much, because once the cage is on here, you're not really gonna look at the stand, but it's still nice to have it waterproof and have a little bit of color to it. Okay, back from the store now. They didn't have the paint I was looking for, but I went and got this ×2 Rust-Oleum paint. Kind of worked nice. I finished up my middle braces, and then I got to kind of go over lightly the first coat, so it was not as much of the dried drips and stuff like that. Filled in the color a little bit. I think it looks okay. It looks kind of natural. and it should weather a lot better. Stand's all finished building and painting. Next thing we're gonna do, I got these rolls of wire. So this wire is 1 inch by 1 inch, and I have 3 pieces cut. It's already 24 inches wide, so I kept the width, and 3 of them fits perfectly. So I went 6 feet long, cut it off, and I got 3 right here. So before we start, I'm gonna use this nail gun here. So a Stanley electric nail gun. Like I said before, I'm gonna go in the description below. I'm gonna post all this stuff. So I'm gonna use my nail gun. You can see these here. The ones they sell you run out real quick. That 5,000 pack was pretty cheap. I got those. And then another thing I'm gonna use is these J-clip pliers and the J-clips. So I'll post those too. These are very important to have. So what I'm actually gonna do right now, before I staple this whole perimeter of the first piece to the wood, I'm actually gonna connect these wires here. So probably every 2, I'm gonna keep these together, and I'm just gonna clamp it together. Once I have one giant sheet, I'll get it laying flat, and then I'll nail it all down. So I put 2 there just to get it started. All you're gonna do is put the pliers in between, get it in between there, and then clamp it. With 2 hands it's not sitting for me, so I need another hand to fit the pliers in. If this hole was larger, it'd be a lot easier, but I'm just gonna do this all the way down, and I'm gonna do both sheets. Okay, so I got my 3 sheets of wire all clipped together. I went down and I made a little gap over the 2x4 so I could screw that down and it would be flush. This is probably the hardest part of this process, or the most time consuming. So if I had to do it again, I'd probably do my support beams with like do my 2x4s there and there, and only do 2 instead of 3 to make it more saggy. That way you could just nail it, the wire right to the wood without having to do all the clamps. I kind of like the idea. This is all one big sheet now. So that was kind of my main goal. I wanted this to be one big piece so nothing can fall apart. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get some washers and screws, screw it down in the corners, and then at where it meets, and then in between I'll do my nail gun. All right, now everything's done. So final product here, we got 24 inches high, 6 foot by 6 foot, 3 rolls of 24 inch wide, 1 inch square wire, some J-clips, nail gun. I did 2 in the middle there. Around the frame of this, I did a whole bunch of them, because every one of them is going to take a little bit of weight off of. So say I have one here and here, any weight here is all on that nail. So if I keep doing them, it spreads the weight out a lot better. They're not going to fall out over time. They're going to stay down there because they're all supporting each other. But there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and put the cage on and see what it looks like. Alright, here's kind of our final product here. So you can see the cage is resting right on that stand. It doesn't overlap. There's a little bit of very little, but there's extra room for it to sit on, maybe a 1/2 inch. Got the cage up here, top door opens. Got a tarp on the back side, on the side and the back wall on the top. Over here you have some ventilation. And it's 2 feet off the ground, like I said, just right over on the grass. So, I think it came out pretty nice. I mean, it's a little bit of work, but very large cage. I can put like 6 adult females in here pretty comfortably, and I'll be happy about doing it. They can actually run around and enjoy it. So, at the end of the day, I think it all worked out pretty nice. Hopefully you guys watched it and gives you guys some ideas, inspires you for different ways to build cages, not just the way you always see it with the wire cages. So this is a good way to build a stand for an already purchased cage. A lot of the rabbit hutches, they sit on the ground, but they don't have any wire bottoms they can dig out. So this way you could put them in those same cages, but you have a platform for it without them being on the ground. When it rains, they get wet. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this gives you some ideas, like I said. Stay tuned for more videos. Here's an older litter of my Rex bunnies. The one in the middle there, the white tricolor, one of my favorite rabbits. I've been really working on this color. So that's actually a male. It'll definitely be a future breeder. But these guys are outside in kind of the rabbit run. It's fall, so the grass isn't growing too much, but they still get to run outside. Here's some of my baby mini Rex bunnies. There's the mom on the left. So today I'm actually doing a video on building new cages. So these guys are getting a lot more space to grow out and kind of hop around. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 babies. 3 of them are a spotted or a multicolor and 3 are solids. Over here you can see this is the buck. So he's kind of a calico. A lot of cool color to him. And the baby shoot a hole through the corner. I actually left it because I like he has more space now. Just a wire bottom, and I get these guys out in a kind of like a rabbit run a few times a week. They can chew on some grass, run around, and I can rotate them through. But I'm building new cages. I'll have a lot more space here. Kind of get ready for the winter. So you see the male there and the female and some of her babies.